Discover the advantage of unlimited access to all the stories and resources from IBJ and inside Indiana business. From insights to inspiration, business leaders rely on the IBJ for all things Indiana business. Start your $1 a week trial now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. First American Nuclear, a startup developing a fast-spectrum small modular reactor for nuclear energy, is planning to invest more than $4 billion to establish its headquarters in Carmel and develop a nuclear plant and energy park elsewhere in the state. Indiana Secretary of Energy Suzanne Jaworowski says the move is extremely significant for Indiana.
Really, it creates the stake in the ground that Indiana is the place for advanced nuclear, because it's not just deploying nuclear energy, it's also establishing that Indiana is the home for manufacturing of new nuclear, modern nuclear. And so we have taken our manufacturing roots as a state and been able to apply all the great things that make us a wonderful manufacturing state and put them to work for building the nuclear industry on behalf of the United States. And the governor is thrilled to be able to do that.
Governor Mike Braun said the move will bring 5,000 high-paying jobs to Indiana. A specific location for the energy park and the company's manufacturing operations has not been identified. The firm behind a proposed $500 million data center in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood of Indianapolis has submitted its request to city officials to rezone nearly 14 acres of land for the project. Los Angeles-based Metro Blocks intends to build 2 large buildings, a pocket park, and a power substation on the property. The Terre Haute Regional Airport is planning to build a $2.6 million solar farm, and the Vigo County Commissioners have approved a $600,000 bond to get the project off the ground. Our partners at WTWO-TV report the project is slated to begin in 2026 and be complete by the end of the year. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
Nearly 2 years after the creation of CDFI-friendly Evansville region, the nonprofit is making steady progress in providing underserved communities with access to capital. Executive Director Taylor Price said the nonprofit, along with other CDFI-friendly organizations in Indiana and across the country, continues making connections in underserved communities despite CDFI fund layoffs at the federal level in early October, which were later blocked by a judge.
I never thought that whenever coming into this role that politics would be part of my job, but here I am, just realizing that the mission is too important to really let anything slow us down. We're still pushing forward. We're still doing the work. Many of the CDFIs that I work with and that serve the Evansville region, a lot of them don't rely solely on the CDFI fund for their funding. Some of them don't rely on it at all.
CDFI-friendly Evansville region partners with more than 20 community development financial institutions, including several entities that focus on small businesses. Price believes that if the federal layoffs are allowed, the terminations won't have a huge impact on the organization's efforts in Southwest Indiana. 3 commercial poultry farms in LaGrange County with a cumulative flock size of more than 46,000 birds have been found to have the bird flu virus, according to the Indiana State Board of Animal Health. 2 of the farms are commercial egg layers, while the third is a commercial meat duck facility. State health officials have not shared the name of the companies or given the specific locations of the facilities that have been affected. Since October 9th, there have now been 13 commercial poultry farms found with highly pathogenic avian influenza. All 13 cases have been discovered in either LaGrange or Elkhart counties in northern Indiana. Serial entrepreneur Dr. Don Brown believes his next venture will lead the charge in revolutionizing the practice of medicine. Brown is the founder of Bioscope AI, which has developed a platform to analyze a patient's entire genome, microbiome, and other inputs to give doctors big data with an AI virtual assistant to make sense of it.
We are, so far, knock on wood, the only ones taking that approach of applying AI, not just to the medical record, but to the genome, the microbiome, the proteome, and there are others of these big data sets.
Bioscope AI is inviting physicians to try the technology using their own medical records. The company is targeting concierge primary care doctors first. Indiana Landmark's CEO Brad Ward is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
I'm Tiffany Souter, mom of four, wife, entrepreneur, and host of the Life of And podcast. For years, I built my life with brute force, a successful business, a growing family, and absolutely zero margin. I was tired, snappy, and felt constantly behind, and I was too afraid to admit it. Everything changed when I stopped trying to do more and started building systems that actually worked for my real life. If you too are craving more peace, more presence, and just more time for you, I'd love for you to join me on the Life of And. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app or listen at ibjpodcast.com.
On the go? So are we. Get the IBJ Media app, your all-in-one news source for Indiana business news. Get breaking news alerts, read every story from IBJ, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Lawyer, and listen to your favorite podcasts all in one place. Big news, small screen. Search IBJ Media and download the app today.